Uh, Yo, what's going on? This is gonna be, well, I call it kind of like a gym rant. Body, not bodybuilding. I'm not a bodybuilder, but I guess just weightlifting. Uh, this is for like guys. I'm a guy. I'm not a girl. Um, and again, just kind of talk about like what works for me, what I do. Why you should work out. You know, um, main thing for me is, uh, I feel better after I work out. Um, when I was in the army, we'd wake up at like 6 in the morning and we all go for like, at least, 2 4 mile run. And like the rest of the day, like you just feel good, like, cause you're all aired out, your lungs are opened up. And, yeah, like you just feel good afterwards for the rest of the day. I mean, for me though, it's kind of different because I work construction and then I have to go to the gym afterwards. I definitely recommend working out in the mornings though. But for me, I'm not a bodybuilder. I don't do freaking steroids or TRT or peptides or, I didn't do pre-workout or creatine or protein for the longest. Right now I'm doing like protein, just try to get some extra protein in, and then I'm doing a pre-workout, but I might cut that out because like creatine or whatever, it's like water weight. But anyways, like what I do is you got to do splits. You have to have a plan going into the gym. I've always had a plan going into the gym. If I took a long break, I would kind of do like a full body workout. I would kind of do like chest, back, a little bit of legs, and then the next day I'd do chest, back, and like with my arms too, and legs. But I'd do different exercises, just trying to get my body back into, being used to getting into the gym. But you have to go in with a plan, and what I do is I do back and biceps one day, chest and triceps, the next day, and then I do legs on the third day, and that's the rotation. And I also add in abs every day, because you can work out your abs every day, like they're fine. And I've been doing more forearms lately. Your forearms you can do every day. They usually kick right back. Just don't overdo it because you can hurt your wrists and stuff. But yeah, for like having a plan, you split it up like that. You do back and biceps one day, and then the next day, you do chest and triceps. Your back and your biceps are like your pulling muscles, and while those are resting, you're working out your pushing muscles, your chest and your triceps. And so the idea with the split workout is, while your other muscles are resting, when one group of muscles is resting, you're working out another. So while my back and my chest are resting, I'm working out my legs on the third day. And that's the idea. And like when it comes to chest, I had like bad shoulder impingement from doing incline bench press, and the only thing that helped it was when I quit doing incline bench press and I started working out my back more. And you hear this like, oh, don't do too many push-ups because your shoulders will get rounded. And when your shoulders round like that, you get like shoulder impingement. So you need to work out your back, and that'll pull your shoulders back. So it's, you have like a wider frame. But yeah, like I just do I think I do like 2-3 exercises for the chest, and then I do like 2-3 exercises for the triceps. Then I do abs, and then I do like 15 minutes on the rowing machine. And then I do 15 minutes in the sauna. That's just because I'm trying I want my lung capacity. You know, I hate being out of breath, so I don't like running because I'm worried about my joints, my knees. Uh, Elliptical, that's low impact. Stairmaster's pretty good. The like escalator looking one, that's pretty good. But I like rowing. I don't know. It keeps me in it. Gets my body moving. You also need to like move around for your lymphatic system to work. It's like, I don't know. You ever heard of your lymph nodes? Yeah, your body needs to move, like walking. Like if you're just like working an office job, your lymph nodes they need movement to like, I guess, get the toxins out of your body. I guess that's what it does. But yeah, otherwise you have like a big thyroid, and I don't know, you look like shit. I don't know, you look sick. So yeah, that's why I like rowing. I feel like I'm moving around a lot, doing the motion. And then the sauna, they said there's all these benefits to the sauna. For me, it's just like, I don't know, getting the toxins out. I'm like shedding the water weight a little bit. And then, what is it? When I say toxins out, shedding the water weight. And they say it's good for like muscle recovery. So I don't know. Yeah. But like, let's just pick like a back and bicep day. That's what I did today. And what I did was I just did underhand pull downs. I did underhand pull downs, and then I did like a wide arm kind of cable row, and then I did face pulls, and that was kind of like my lats. That was like my lats and biceps on the underhand pull downs. And then for the rows, that was like my upper back. And then for the face pulls, that was like my rear delts and upper back. And then I switched over to biceps, and I did cable curls, with like both hands, with like a freaking straight bar, cable curls. And then I did hammer curls. And that was my biceps. So I did 3 exercises like for my back, and then 2 for my biceps, and that's it. And then I didn't do abs. I just went straight to the rowing machine just because I have to get home, shower, and I have to go to mass. So but yeah, that's like I don't know, I'm kind of against spending 2 hours in the gym or whatever, 3 hours in the gym. That's part of the problem with people working out is, I don't have the time or whatever. And some people go like, oh, you'll like make time, or if you're too busy to work out, well you can look at like Mike Menser. I like Mike Menser because his philosophy, he's a bodybuilder, he was like Mr. Olympia or whatever. He was kind of like the first kind of like of these like nerdy like YouTube bodybuilder guys you see. I hate like nerdy bodybuilding where for optimal gains you need to do 4 sets of 12 and this and that, and like this variation is better than that. It's like, shut up, dude. Just do whatever's like good for you. Like, I don't know, there's like some exercises I can't do because like it hurts my shoulder or it just feels weird on my joints, and so I don't do that. And yeah, like part of that too is when you pick an exercise, don't overdo the weight at first because you're getting used to it. But then there's the idea of progressive overload, and it's like, okay, like for me, I think it's called like the iso press. Like I don't do incline bench anymore because it hurts my shoulder. but I do the isolated, like, kind of like bench press machine, and I can just load that up. And I started easy on it, but with progressive overload, you try to add on weight, you keep track and you add on weight. So I've been adding on, 5 pounds, every week. And, you're going to plateau. Like, you're not going to be able to get up to a ton doing that. You'll plateau. But with Mike, the reason I brought up Mike Menser is, you have progressive overload, but you also have intensity. And his point being that you don't need to spend an hour or two in the gym, doing 30 sets, 10 exercises just for your chest. You just, you pick like you pick like 2 exercises for your chest, and you go high intensity, which means, you lift the heaviest you can, but you also lift kind of slow. You want to be controlled with it. One of his points is too, when you're like, for like a bench press, when you push it up, that's the hard part. And he didn't really like locking out with the bench press, but lowering it is actually where you make your money, is lowering it and getting that control. And then people know those as like negatives. So like maybe you have somebody helping you with the bench press, and they'll help you raise it up, but then they kind of guide you. You kind of lower it down, and then they help you back up, and you lower it back down. His point was like, oh, dude, like with curl, like when I do curls, I raise it up, but I don't like raise it. I don't curl it all the way. I kind of leave like a little space just so there's tension on my bicep. And then when I lower it, I count to like 3 Mississippis or 4 Mississippis, and I don't lock out all the way at the bottom. I kind of keep that tension, and then I raise it back up, 1 Mississippi, 2 Miss, and I get that time on tension on the muscle, and that's what's important when you're trying to build muscle. And like, I don't know, just the thing is, don't overthink when it comes to making like a little program or whatever. And another Mike Menser thing is you don't want to overwork your muscle or whatever. His big thing was like recovery. Like he would only go to the gym 3 times a week, and he was a bodybuilder, and I'm sure he was on steroids and shit, but he's like I was only in the gym maybe 30 minutes every day 3 times a week, and he's like I got better gains than people going 6 times a week to the gym. And his point being is, you build muscle outside the gym, recovering with sleep, and then the main part, people want to get in shape or whatever and look good. I mean, that's my thing. I want to get the V-taper kind of thing going on. And it's like 90% of that, I'd say 80%. 80% of that is like what you eat. 80% of that is what you eat. You gotta like drop the slop. You can't eat fast food. You can't DoorDash, soda, like that stuff, like sneaks up on you. You don't know, like one soda is like what, 150 calories? It takes me 15 minutes on the rowing machine to do 180 calories. And that's one way I kind of like look at stuff when I look at I'm like, oh, I want that soda, and then I'm like, oh shit, that's like 15 minutes on the rowing machine. Fuck that. I don't want to do that. So, when you look at like packaging too for like, I don't know, a freaking power bar or a protein bar, you like look at it, and it's it might say like 100 calories, but it's like there's 2 servings in the bar. So really, that 2 serving, when it's 100 calories and it says 2 servings, there's 200 calories for the whole bar. So you're really eating more than you know. And I think that's why like girls, like some girls are like nasty fat. Not nasty, they're pudgy, you know? Girls are pudgy and they're like, oh, like girls put on more fat than guys, whatever. But it's because they're like drinking Starbucks and they're snacking on chips and oh, what else do they freaking eat? They're just it's like Starbucks and shit. And Starbucks, like a Starbucks drink is like 400, 600 calories. It's all sugar. And like what is it for guys like energy drinks? Like I like energy drinks, but like a regular Monster is I think like 270 calories. If you get like a sugarless like a white Monster, it's like 10 calories, you know? Because there's like no carbs and there's no sugar in it. They just replace it with something else that's probably not good for you. But your diet, like if you're trying to cut down, you gotta, you know, calories in, calories out. You gotta cut the calories. And if you want to build muscle, you gotta make sure you're getting that protein, you know, like chicken and, you know, eggs and yogurt. That's what I eat. Chicken, eggs, and yogurt. And then you know, to try to hit my protein goal, I add to like 150 calorie freaking protein shake that has like 20, 25 or 30 grams of protein. And that's real quick. But, you know, drinking water and, dude, yeah, like when it comes to supplements, I'd say fuck the supplements, dude. Like, you don't need creatine or pre-workout or like I I got pre-workout recently, like because I was like, oh, like I kind of want to up my workout a little bit, like because I was buying energy drinks and going to the gym right after. And I'm like, oh, I'm just like I just need caffeine. Like I was just using the caffeine to like get through the workout. And I was like, oh man, I'm spending like $5, you know, $5 on an energy drink every time. Let me just get some pre-workout. But the freaking caffeine and the pre-workout's like kind of fucking me up. I can't sleep at night. And sleep is important because you build muscle and your like testosterone goes up when you sleep, so you need good sleep. That's like the other 10%, right? I said 80% is the diet, 10% is actually working out, and like the other 10% is like your sleep. Like you need like 7 to 9 hours of sleep, like depending who you are. But yeah, I mean this has kind of been a rant. I'm like all over the place. I'm not gonna say like, oh, I do this many sets, or you know, I just yeah, I try like if I'm doing like a what is it, if I'm doing like curls for my biceps, yeah, I might warm it up, you know, I'll warm it up with one set, you know, just like lightweight, and then I'll put on like my target weight, my working weight, and I'll try to hit that 8 to 12 reps. But like really you shouldn't count. You should do those slow controlled reps to failure. You want to go to failure because that's how you build muscle. You want to push yourself, but you don't want to push yourself where you injure yourself, kind of thing. Right, so if I had to wrap this up, I would say like don't overthink about your workout. You need a split workout. You know, progressive overload is important. Your diet and sleep is important. You know, if you're trying to you know, look good for the summer, you know, you're gonna have to cut out the freaking McDonald's and the freaking Chick-fil-A and shit. You know, I was talking about calories, dude. Like 1 tablespoon of olive oil is like 150 calories. You know, and then you know, like your sauces, if you have like, I don't know, barbecue sauce, if you're like putting ranch on everything, you're fucking yourself. You know, your food is, yeah, food tastes good or whatever, but it, like, it shouldn't be like a comfort. It shouldn't be like a safety pillow. Like if you're feeling bad, it's a fuel source for your body. And sometimes that's the way you gotta look at it. Like yeah, you can go out and, eat with your friends. Like, try to, everything in moderation. Try to do that once a week or something. And then just remember, like, oh, I had that big meal. Like, maybe I should kind of cut back. And even in the meal, just be like, all right, like, am I going to get, the freaking, I don't know, this pizza, or am I gonna get, which is like all bread, or am I gonna get, a steak, or am I gonna get, am I gonna eat this like cheesy Alfredo, like this lasagna, or am I gonna get the chicken Alfredo or something? Like, I don't know. You just have to be kind of smart about it. So yeah, diet, workout, sleep. Stress is like another thing. Like stress will kill your gains. So keep a easy mind. Like I don't stress out about stuff. I kind of let it wash over me because a lot of the stuff, like, I can't change anyways. Like, what am I gonna do about it? Like, you can't control everything in the world. But yeah, that's it for this. Have a good one.